Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking what is genuinely one of the most transformative shifts happening in modern science right now. We are officially entering the era of the AI co-scientist. We're no longer just using computers as passive calculators or big storage drives. We're actually partnering with artificial intelligence that can reason, design, and execute scientific discovery right alongside us. So if you're looking to understand how AI is completely rewiring the scientific process from the absolute ground up, you are in exactly the right place.
Listen to this really provocative point recently made by Kevin Kramer. When the ELN, the electronic lab notebook, disappears, you'll already be there. What he's really saying here is that the old legacy methods of doing science, they're dying out. The endless clicking, the manual data entry, the super rigid templates, all of that is fading away to make room for an intelligent, seamless future where your software is actively participating in your research.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover the AI co-scientist era, designing atoms with Rosetta Fold 3, automating the lab bench, Med-Gemini in the clinic, and finally, the future of medicine.
This breaks down perfectly into a three-part pipeline of discovery that's going to frame our entire analysis today. We've got the microscale, where molecules are designed, the mesoscale, where those molecules are physically tested in the lab, and the macroscale, where those discoveries are actually used to diagnose and treat patients. Let's start right at the micro level.
Section 1. Designing atoms with Rosetta Fold 3, the microscale. So Microsoft Foundry recently rolled out RF3. And to really get why this is such a massive leap forward, we have to look at this concept of multimolecular modeling. Previous generation models were undeniably incredible, but they were narrowly focused just on proteins. RF3 models proteins, nucleic acids like DNA and RNA, and small molecules or ligands all at the exact same time. We've moved way past isolated protein models and can now simulate entire complex interaction systems in a single unified workflow.
Now, the real game changer here is what's called atom-level conditioning. Imagine you have a highly specific 3D molecule. Maybe it's a toxin or a specific disease marker. You can feed RF3 that molecule, and it will custom fold a brand new protein completely around it, literally like a perfectly tailored glove. This unprecedented level of control translates directly to highly targeted drug design. You aren't just guessing and checking anymore. You're engineering at the atomic level.
And the applications are absolutely staggering. Because RF3 is a general foundation model, researchers are already using it to design enzymes that literally eat plastic to fight pollution. They're engineering lightweight, self-healing biomaterials designed to survive the extreme radiation of space. The versatility isn't just cool, it is breathtaking.
Section 2. Automating the lab bench, the mesoscale.
Okay, so we've got our perfect molecule designed, right? But physically testing it requires the electronic lab notebook, or ELN. In the past, legacy ELNs were basically just passive filing cabinets. They force these rigid templates on you and really slow down R&D. But the third generation AI-native ELN, pioneered by platforms like Sapio Sciences, is a completely different beast. It acts as your AI co-scientist. It doesn't just record what you did, it actively helps you do it.
The secret sauce making this possible is agentic AI. We're all pretty used to conversational AI by now. You type a question, it gives you text back. But agentic AI is an artificial intelligence that takes physical, digital actions. Sapio integrated an AI named Elaine. And Elaine isn't just some passive chatbot. It calls complex algorithms, it reads standard operating procedures to automatically build your experimental plates, and it executes deep scientific workflows.
Let's look at how this human-AI collaboration actually plays out in practice. Step 1. The scientist prompts Elaine. You literally just type, "Analyze these assay results across 1,000 compounds and let me know which ones are selective." Step 2. The AI instantly queries the massive data cloud, pulls the exact right variables, and builds the analytical experiment. Step 3. It executes the action and generates a visual box and whisker plot right there in your notebook. What used to take a scientist hours of mind-numbing manual labor now takes seconds of high-level supervision.
Section 3. Med-Gemini in the clinic, the macroscale.
All right, so the AI helped design the drug, the smart notebook helped test it, and now we're zooming all the way out to the hospital bedside with Med-Gemini. This represents the absolute cutting edge of multimodal medical AI. Now, multimodal means exactly what it sounds like. It doesn't just read text. It's inherently optimized to interpret 2D chest x-rays, 3D CT scans, incredibly dense histopathology tissue slides, and even raw genomic data. It can synthesize complex, varied human health data across different formats, exactly the way a seasoned human doctor would when looking at a patient's whole chart.
To put this into perspective, the training scale here is massive, 7 million data samples. And the genius part?
They completely bypass the bottleneck of needing expensive human experts to label every single pixel. Instead, the model learned clinical intuition simply by reading what doctors wrote while looking at the scans. It is incredibly efficient.
So how does it actually perform in the real world? Well, taking chest x-rays as an example, one of the most time-consuming tasks for doctors is writing out radiology reports. Med-Gemini 2D is setting a completely new standard here. When expert human radiologists evaluated the AI's reports against ones written by human doctors, the experts found the AI was equivalent or better in 57% of normal cases and 43% of abnormal complex cases. This isn't just an experimental toy anymore. It is pushing right up against the threshold of clinical acceptability.
But look at the sheer jump in accuracy when you fine-tune an AI specifically for medicine. Check out the diabetic retinopathy metrics. The base model, Gemini Ultra, sat at just 39% specificity for detecting hard exudates. But Med-Gemini 2D? It leaps to an incredible 96.4%. For detecting hemorrhages, it jumps from 28.1% to 81.1%. That's the power of task-specific fine-tuning right there. We are talking about massive, literal life-saving leaps in diagnostic accuracy.
Now, this next capability is honestly kind of mind-blowing. Med-Gemini Polygenic. Researchers actually took a patient's genetic risk scores, which is essentially really complex math about their DNA, and projected it into a tiny 8 by 8 pixel image. They fed this tiny genomic image representation to the visual AI, and it actually outperforms standard linear models in predicting long-term mortality risk for things like stroke and coronary artery disease. I mean, it's a completely out-of-the-box way to use visual AI to unlock disease prevention that's hidden deep within our genetics.
Section 4. The Future of Medicine. Human and AI Collaboration. And this brings us to the core takeaway of this whole explainer. Scott Baldwin from AWS really hit the nail on the head when he said, the path to discovery and patient care just got a lot faster. By linking atomic modeling, automated lab execution, and multimodal clinical diagnostics, we are actively stripping away the friction that slows down science. Ultimately, accelerating this pipeline translates directly to easing human suffering and saving lives.
So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If an AI can design the target molecule, if an agentic AI can build and run the physical lab tests, and if a multimodal AI can accurately diagnose the final patient, what will the role of the human scientist be tomorrow? Perhaps, instead of doing the heavy lifting, scientists will finally be freed up to become the pure directors of discovery. Really think about that. Thanks so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me. Keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.